M3GAN. It moves series, M3GAN. M3GAN is a android child. That's a little weird. She became a companion to someone else. And when the designer decides to terminate her, she didn't want to get terminated. She was the one who did the terminating. It is a horror film. Blood on this one too. Snap, snap, snap. Or stab, stab, stab. Now get this. It was made, budget on this one. Okay, the budget on this is $12 million. A nice budget by the time, I guess. Okay, here's a shocker for you. By the box office take on this, it's $180 million. Repeat, the budget was $12 million. A lot of effects in this one. And the take was $180 million. Will there be sequence on this? Oh, you better know there will be. There will be copycats on this. Now, this is all classified as a horror film, X-rated, what have you. But when you make 10 times amount, 11, 12 times, 15 times the amount of money you spent on this back, you better know there'll be sequence. Well, not so much on this thing, maybe like Friday the 13th or something. But yeah, my God, let's get another one of these, or type of one of these. And the Cormans out there will say, oh boy, let's make another one of these. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have a string of those up. No, horror movies did that thing. Herschel Lewis in Chicago used to do, unless this goes back a long time, he had a string of theaters in the South. And he would make Doris Day, Rock Hudson type of movies, you know. In bed, one foot on the floor thing. So his concept was tight butts for the males, big boobs for the females. And as I said, it was all thing. And Herschel Lewis had standards. Okay? But as his theaters were losing patronage, now one thing, I'm sure Herschel Lewis, big George, knew that in his theaters he could sell popcorn and candy and drink. Oh yes, a glass of wine while you're watching my movie. He had little tables in the back. You know, people can eat there, you know, have dinner. And that thing. And these are basically people from the South. The Bible Belt, he said it was. And he geared his movies for them. The women who liked big he-men, and the guys who liked the big hers. As I said, with the Bible Belt, because on Saturday night he would fill up his theaters with the locals, and he has a string, does this movie here, that movie there, and it run during the week. And Sunday they can go to the church and sing to God, stamp their feet, wave their hands, sing to God, and listen to a sermon of how Satanist are you who go to those theaters. But those were very popular. Well, when that thing kind of weaned, what he did he do flesh X-rated stuff? No. Oh no. His standards does not allow that. While other people were doing it, he said, no, I don't do things like that. He was also known as One-Shot Lewis because he had a 35 millimeter camera, World War II 35 millimeter camera You put the 35 in there. And he was a one-shot Lewis. It was extremely rare for him to do it. And he worked with a script. And he worked with this. And it was he most edited inside the camera. Okay? Saves in editing. But he did that thing. And then he would send it over to Eastman Kodak, and they would make a dozen copies for him. And he did that. Well, as I said, they was Wayne. What happened was horror. Now, what can you do with horror? Everything. Can you chop off heads? Yes. He even set up his own special effects people. You know, get the dummies, get the blood, get the stuff that, like Renfield, he basically sat there and basically, let's get red wine. It looks like blood. It can, well, it doesn't feel like blood. It looks like blood, okay? A lot of stage blood. Yes. And where can he do that? Well, he can do the forest, you can do this garage, you can do this basement, he can do here, and he can do it in his house. And if you start looking at his house, and he had a series of larger rooms in that, set up as bedrooms, doors stay, big kitchens, big living rooms, big fireplaces, big this. Okay? That's where his horror movie, if you saw it in his Rock Hudson Doris Day movie, you're going to see it in his horror movie. And as I said, we shot that thing, did it happen. He made a whole series of these. And what happened? Videotape happened, folks. Sony had a reel-to-reel. Panasonic had a cassette. And let me tell you what is a cassette at that time. Those cassettes were $20. They ran for 2 hours. Okay? Color and sound. You know what it did to my Arri BL rented? Where an Arri BL would have a 400-foot magazine, the 400-foot magazine would cost, the 400 feet of film, negative would cost me $80, $100. Then you have to have a work print, have it developed at 9 cents a foot, and then have a work print. Then, of course, you have sound. And what happens with the VHS? Panasonic. Sure, the editing was expensive, but that cartridge is too big. Now, if you recorded on half-inch or you recorded on 1-inch, they had portable 1-inch units running around. And then you just broke it down a half, 3/4, and then you just drop it down a 1/2 inch. Let me see, what was the first one? Indiana Jones, remember that? The weekend it came out, I had a copy of it, VHS copy of it, which of course, what did I do? I copied it. The quality was so good on it, because I can almost tell you where the quality was so good on it, that I could make a copy of it. Of course, the copies were not very good, but I could make a 6 copies of those. Why? Why was I going to sell them? I was going to keep them. But they were good. The of course, video house that was doing it, there was a camper trailer in a parking lot. And a friend of mine would go back. And I looked at a license plate and I said, "That's government." What? That's a government vehicle there. So who do you think's in it? FBI. Why? Because he has illegal copies of films in there. Oh yes, he had illegal copies of movies out there. And of course, I'm What did I do? I rented that thing and made copies of it and returned it to them. Did the FBI raid the place? Oh, you better know they raided the place. But again, well, horror movies. Should have done that when I was young. Instead of doing child stuff, I got a camera. I should have done something like that. But as usual, I don't do things. Okay.